We'll see how this works. I'm gonna go ahead and record what we're doing, and I'll post it to the page for you to see as well. Okay, the assignment post. All right, so what we're doing now is we are doing the step 11 that is on that PDF from the assignment yesterday. Let me real quick share like my regular screen, so we are all together and on the same page. So if you're looking at the assignment post, we're right here on draft 1. If you turned it in, I won't go in there and see who it is right now, but unsubmit it because we have to finish the last part here. So we did number 10. I'm going to give you all a couple minutes, if you had not already done so, to do the naming and all of that that's there. So I'm actually going to leave my screen. I'll go back so that you all can, well, you still can see the screen, but you can see how I did my writing. Go over the video quickly if need be, like the Ames lettering part is towards the end of the video, obviously. And then we're gonna go to 11, which is execute the assigned drawing, which is this drawing here. So what I'm going to do, unless you want to, you can go ahead and print out this page of the PDF, and you can use your architectural ruler and measure along with me. I am going to measure on my paper because I printed it out. Oh, I've already done the measurements, but I'll measure with you and we'll see what the measurements are. And then we're going to then transfer it to the graph paper. Once again, nice thing about graph paper is you can, count your blocks or what have you, as opposed to having to measure. But that is what we're doing here. So I'm going to stop sharing and give you a moment to look at finishing your Ames lettering if you have not already done so. And I'll move it so that you all can see mine. There.
Miss, were we supposed to put your name at the last, on the 4th line?
No, put your name. Put your name, not my name. We're at the bottom where it says Cochran E. You do put that because that's representative of your teacher. But put your first initial last name.
Yeah, because on that page it says to put when did be.
Huh?
On your page, like the draft 1 thing, it says to write when did, and then like.
Yeah, when. That's the teacher at Central. So put my name, please.
Okay.
All right. And I'm gonna get some post-its here. I'll give you about two or three more minutes. Okay. Well, that one makes sense. Okay. All right. So what we are now doing, like I said, is transferring what is on that second page of the PDF onto our graph paper. So I'm going to show you the measurements, but what do you think is the first thing that needs to be done in order to make sure that we are drawing this into the center of what we've established yesterday? What two measurements do you think we need to take?
Maybe the center line, like of the middle of the room.
Okay, I guess my position is right. I should be able to put my earphones on, or at least one. Okay, yeah, we're gonna need to measure, our full, what our potentially full width is during, in terms of the majority of this room, and then our height, I guess you can say actually, and then our width, right? So then we know how much on each side of our center we need to be drawing from. Other thing, keep in mind, this is interior design. So we are measuring from the interior walls. My Post-it notes are to cover what I've already measured as measurements. Okay, I'll just kind of take them away to do my double check as I'm measuring with you. All right. So using my 1/4 inch ruler, which it's showing up somewhat okay for you all. If I measure from my interior wall, right? So you see where my 0 is starting inside the dark wall. We'll do all of this darkening after we draw our interior walls. Does that make sense? All right. So if I measure from here to here, my ruler is showing me that it is using a 1/4 scale. Hold on, I probably should go on a straight line that I can measure off of. From 0, 0, 1, 2, I can just use my big letters, 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, 14 feet, 16 feet, 18 feet, 20 feet, and about 20 and a half, because it's between my 20 and the 21. So that's about 21 and a half feet. Okay. So if I'm doing that, I can use, and I know I'm splitting my line here, I can start some starting marks. 21 and a half, if you divide that, what's that? 10 and 1/4. So that's what I know that I'm measuring as my 10 and 1/4 on this side of the dot, 10 and 1/4 on the other side of the dot. So I'm literally going to put my calculator. Why do I keep calling it a calculator, y'all? I'm going to put my ruler, lining it up right on my 0. And I'm going to go out that about 10 and 1/4. So from 1, and this is just to kind of do some reference marks. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And my graph paper is slightly off scale, so you all can count with me, just counting that 10. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to be right about here. And I'm just literally going to do a little dash there. And then I'm going to take my calculator, my ruler, and I'm going to measure out another 10 spots from my center point. 1, and I'm just counting squares, so you can count squares too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little more. I'm going to do a little dash. Now I'm going to measure my whole length, just to kind of check my, accuracy. And what did we say? How long did it need to be? It was 20 and a half. So I'm going to count literally 20 and a half squares. Oop, that is my 1/8. Hold on. Although I'm just counting, so it's fine. But so my 20 and a half mark is right here. I'm going to count my squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and a half. Okay. Those are just references because now we need to do the height. When I measured the height of the room, I measured about 12 feet. So in a 1/4 scale, 12 1/4, right? So we're counting 12 of the 1/4 square. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now our dot, if you remember, wasn't right on the square. So if you, if you're dividing 12 and a half, it's 6 and 6. So I'm going to literally so 6 squares up will be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for ease of kind of scale, we're going to honestly, for ease of scale, so that it works for all of us, I'm going to move my center onto an exact center. So count from your lines that you've established. Make sure from that center on the width of your paper, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 squares. And then another 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is everybody understanding me? I changed our center for ease of use for everybody involved, okay? If I'm checking with the height, we should have then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 feet. Okay. In inches, Salome, that would be I didn't measure it in inches, so I would have to, I'll give you the inches in a minute, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which is fine because it's not exactly even. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Salome, for this one, we measured 20 and a half feet here, 12 feet here. That was for Salome because she's trying to do some conversions. Okay, now back to using this as a center. Does everybody have their dot where it needs to be? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. The biggest thing is from wherever you have drawn your dot, which if you're slightly off from me, it's okay, but that's what you're referencing as your center. So once again, going back to what we just did, we're going to do it all over again, which is fine. Our height is 12 feet. Our width is 20 and a half. So I'm literally going to count 6 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that I'm going to be drawing a line here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do a little dash there. That's our 12. For our 20 and a half, I'm going to count, 10 and 10 and a little more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you're going to do, technically it would be 10 and 1/4. I would take my 1/4 side of the calculator. Let me count again. I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I can use my small increments to go to 1/4, which would be about right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And after my 10, I'm going to line up my calculator at the 0 and go to my 1/4 increment right about there. Now at this point, I got so many little marks on my paper. Let me double check. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it was this mark. All right, so now I'm going to draw those lines and I'll do some erasing later, which is why you should be using pencil. I'm going to draw my straight line here. Ooh. I'm going to draw my straight line here. Okay, here. I'm going to draw my line here. And yes, I'm going to draw a straight line. We can always erase later. We're kind of taking away from the established rectangle we're making and checking our measurement from there. Okay. My tripod's getting in the way of my ruler. Once again, let me do another count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I lost my mark a little bit there. Okay. You all have a rectangle? Ready to erase from there? Because we may have to add to make parts of it longer, but this is just the basic starting point. Okay. Right? Because if I were to put this over my graph paper, it should be pretty accurately measuring, although my graph paper is slightly off. All right. Remember, interior walls. Is everybody? Okay. What time is it? Okay. All right. So now if I am going to continuing to measure, where should we start? Let's start on this wall here. I need to measure what this inside right here, what that measurement is. And I already have it. Looks like I measured 2, but I'll show you. My 1/4 side of the ruler. Right here is measuring 2 feet. Okay. So I'm literally going to take here. I know that I have my 2/4, so I know that's 2 feet. So then what I need to do, I can do a couple things. I can either measure the open area, right? Or I can measure the other established wall. I'm gonna measure the other established wall. And when I measure that, it measures at, can't even read what I wrote, y'all. It measures at 7.5. So I can count from here and count 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just for accuracy, making sure I'm measuring what a half of that is, which is going to be a little off because your graph paper is a little bit off. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. And I'm literally erasing my wall up to my 2 feet. Okay. So if I'm double checking, and let's say I measure what I have here, and to make sure I have the correct empty space. If I'm measuring with my 1/4 side of my ruler, it's measuring as about 2.5. So I should have about 1, 2.5 empty boxes, and I do. So do the same thing. You should have about 1, 2.5 boxes empty. Once you're caught up to where I am, give me a thumbs up. And I have to kind of search to see where my thumbs up are. Okay. We're not going to finish this today, which is fine. We'll kind of go from, where we are tomorrow. All right. My next interior wall, I'm going to measure. This actually shows how you would draw windows. We'll get into that, but we just want to make sure we haven't established the length between the next opening here. Any guess of what maybe this open area would be? These are windows. I already said that. I meant to have you all tell me what you thought they were.
Could it be a fireplace?
It could be, it could be a fireplace.
Or like the windowsill, like what do they call it? Like the window seat?
Oh, yeah. So just some type of divot into the wall where the wall goes back, and maybe you can put like a window seat. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So if we're measuring here from, I think I already revealed my measurement there. Let's see if it was right. I had 9 feet. So I'm once again, interior wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just about 9. We'll go with 9 for our purposes of, using graph paper. So we're a little bit off because we had that, what was that ended up being? About 10 1/4. So let's count from here. Part of me wants to, just make it even. It's too hard for you all to see visually this not being even. So go ahead and erase this line you have. We're taking some creative liberties. It's just not something that is easy to try to show you all remotely. Just make this wall, go in to that next line and just go ahead and draw your line. I'm not gonna make this more confusing than it already is doing it in a remote environment. So go ahead and erase that line. Uh-oh, I erased too much. 1, 2. What do we have? 2.5 here. We're gonna stick with like either whole feet or half feet. Okay. You all follow me on that? Okay. All right. Let's get to this next part and then I'm going to let you all go. Once again, I said 9, so we're going to count 9 squares. My husband's coming behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put a little dot there for reference. And then if I were to measure the other side, hopefully, ideally, if we're talking about keeping things in scale, this would be 9 as well. And it is 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I'm going to come in 9 from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, we are talking about the interior measurements. We have room, to make that, it's going to end up being larger when we're talking about adding the exterior walls, right? So I'm going to go in, I'm literally going to erase what I have here. That's why we do a lot of erasing. We do a lot of erasing, and that's why we're also using pencil. So let's try to finish out this wall and then I'll let you all go. So once again, I'm going to check if I were to measure this empty space here, is measuring as, let's see, 1, 2. We're going to go ahead and say it's measuring as 3, which is what I have here. Is it measuring as 3? All right, now we got to measure at an angle we're not actually going to measure at this angle because it's going to be easier for us to measure this once we are actually adding our exterior walls. So we're going to leave this open space for now. Our lines will be established when we do the exterior. Okay. Same thing in terms of when we're going to determine the actual length of the windows. We'll determine what that measurement looks like once we are adding the exterior walls. Okay. So then let's do, what time is it? Okay. Let's just measure then from here to here to establish when our line stops for the opening. And we'll just make a dot and then we'll continue with this tomorrow. So when I'm measuring it, which I already did measure, I came up with 12. Yep, which would mean that if we were to close this off right here, it would be about a perfect square because we know that this, at least on this end, we know for sure is 12 inches there too. So I'm going to count 12 over for my corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which my line's got a little screwy here. I'm going to literally put a little dot here just for reference. And then we're gonna do one more measurement, and for real, we'll finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna do one more measurement. We're gonna make sure that this is 20 and a half, because if just looking at it, I can tell it's a little bit longer. And so let's make sure we have this wall here established as the correct width. So if I were to measure it, oh, that's the 3/4 side. That is not gonna help me. If I were to measure this right interior wall, it measures as 12 and a half. So I know that for here, which my line is not on the line, but I'll fix it in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's actually 12 and a half. So it should be a bit longer. I'm actually going to redo this whole line because it's not on the line. Okay. Let me check real quick attendance. I know we're going to, well, actually, we know now that all of this can actually be erased. Because that is open space as shown here. Luckily, my pencil markers aren't showing up pretty dark here. I'm just going to remeasure this part right here because I did not draw it on the line. And that's going to bother me. Plus, it's just not accurate. Got 12 and a half. Okay. So you all should have pretty much what I have on the paper so far. Okay. Oop, and the sun came to shine right on what we have. Okay, let me check attendance, and I'm going to stop